Okay, Wyatt and Noah. This book is called Just Us Kids Shipwrecked. Unfortunately, there's no pictures, but it sounds like a great book, so I'm going to read a little bit to you each night. And then I have some new books coming in the mail. One of them is a Star Wars book. In fact, two of them are. And then one other one I forget about. It's a mystery. So I thought it'd be kind of fun since I miss you guys so much and we don't get to see each other that I could read to you and you'd have, something to do just before bed since, you know, I don't get to see you and read right to you. So it starts out with Tyler Hartman had made mistakes, but today was the worst so far. The ship he was on with his mom had been caught in a storm, slammed against some rocks, soaked by the pouring rain and confused by the darkness. Tyler and the other children had jumped into a lifeboat. It was what they'd been taught by the captain their first day on the ship, but the adults had all gotten on a separate lifeboat. Ooh. When the two crafts hit the water and were battered by the waves, there had been no way to keep them together. We are on our own, just us kids. Chapter 1. I want my mom, the youngest boy finally says through his little cries when the sun comes up. At least it isn't dark anymore. It's all right, Rory says, and I almost believe her. She's the only other kid I know out of this bunch. We hung out some during the first 10 days of this voyage. That was before everything went wrong. Rory is close to my age. She's 10 and I'm 11. The three other kids are younger, probably 7 or 8. I notice the younger you are, the more scared you get when things happen. Don't tell him that, another little boy cries. You don't know if we're all right. We're lost at sea and alone. We don't have anything we need. Everyone is looking at me and waiting for me to tell them what to do. Even Rory is. I guess being the oldest means you're in charge. I guess whether he wanted to or not, he's in charge. Rory is right. I say, having to clear my dry throat, we are going to be fine. I'm Tyler. What are your names? Willie, the youngest crying boy, says. Tom, the cranky boy, answers. Julia, the quiet little girl holding a doll, says. We're going to be fine, I tell them, and hope they believe me. This is what you're supposed to do for little kids, isn't it? If we are going to get out of this, I know for sure crying's not going to help. We need to figure out what we have for supplies, food, water, and a way to communicate. I have 2 bottles of water, Rory says, pulling them out of her pink bag with a silly unicorn on the front. At least she grabbed the bag, huh, guys? When I first saw it back on the main ship, I thought the bag was ugly. Now I'm happy to see it. Any supplies we have are better than none. I have a granola bar, Willie says, with a little whistle when he speaks from his missing front teeth. Did you guys, when you lost your teeth, did you whistle when you talked? I don't remember you guys doing that. My mom always puts snacks in my pocket. I'm so hungry. We can't eat or drink any of it yet. I'm no expert, but I know my stuff better than most kids. I've done wilderness training for the last 4 summers, and this trip to Australia is my dream come true. I'm ready for an adventure, just not without any adults. That's not part of the plan. My mom and I flew to England and boarded the Odin, the ship that would take us on the long journey to Australia. It was beautiful and sailed smoothly through the first part of the trip. I wish we were back on the Odin right now instead of the small lifeboat bobbing at sea. I'm so thirsty, Willie complains, his red hair so bright it's the same color as the rising sun. His freckles are glowing bright and his skin looks like it will burn easily if we don't get him some sunscreen. Do you guys know anybody with red hair like that? I do, and boy, they do burn easy. What else do we have? Rory asks, pointing to my bag. I list out what I have in my survival kit. 8-hour light stick. You guys know those. You break them and they glow. Box of waterproof matches. That's important. 12 emergency drinking water pouches, a multi-tool survival knife, survival whistles. That's good to be able to blow whistles so you know where each other are. And 50 feet all-purpose utility rope. That's really important. You could throw that over a tree, put palm leaves over it, make huts out of it. They may need to use that. I felt silly having all this stuff in my pack earlier, but now I am glad. Better safe than sorry. That's what all the guidebooks tell you. But what about food, Julie asks, whimpering because her stomach is rumbling. I'm hungry too, but I know it's not the most important problem we have right now. You can live up to 3 weeks without food, I explained, not thinking how dumb I'm being. Little kids can't think about things like that without getting scared. I don't want to be that hungry, Julie moans. 3 weeks? What about you guys? You guys can't go 3 hours without a snack at home. You're in your pantry all the time. So's Papa Dan. I try to make him feel better. You should be more concerned about water. You can only live 3 or 4 days without water. That's our real problem. I don't know that that's making him feel better. I don't know about you, but I get awful thirsty all the time. All 3 kids start crying, and my stomach turns from hungry to flip-flopping with worry. Man, I am not good with these little kids. I'm just worrying them all the time. We have water, and we're going to get food, Rory says, walking on the wobbling boat and crouching down in front of them. I promise. I want to tell Rory that she can't promise that, but somehow the little kids stop crying, and that's more important than arguing about who is right or wrong. So his friend Rory, guys, is trying to make everybody feel better, and he's trying to just be super practical all the time. So you got to kind of mix both together to make people feel better. What can we eat? Julie asks, looking around the small lifeboat. This is my granola bar, Willie says, holding it close to him and pouting. Everything belongs to all of us now. I say, standing up and trying to balance. The only way we're going to survive this is together. We have to be a team. Do you know what to do? Tom asks. His cheeks still had tears on them. His face is round and his cheeks are as pudgy as a chipmunk's. I saw him once on the Odin, and I know he had glasses, but they probably fell off in the storm. I look at Rory, who is making a weird face at me. It's like she's telling me I better say yes, even if the answer is no. So his friend Rory's saying, you better tell them, act like you're confident and tell them you know what to do, even if you don't. We all do that sometimes, just to make the other person feel better. Of course, I answer, puffing up my chest and trying to look bigger than I am. I know exactly what to do. Okay, where are we? All right. We're on chapter 2. The last few, man, we're on chapter 2 already. That's cool. The last few drops of water are hanging out at the bottom of my canteen when we first see the island. They found an island, guys. Rory and I jump off the lifeboat and start to swim with the waves toward the shore. We hold on to the straps of the lifeboat and pull it along with us. Finding the island is a relief because I was about to tell everyone when we ran out of fresh drinking water, our next option would be drinking turtle blood. Not very appetizing, and I know the kids would start crying again. Where would they get the turtle blood? I didn't hear that part of the story. Do you think there are sharks? Rory asked, out of breath as we pull the boat closer to the shore. I feel smooth rocks under my feet, and I can stand rather than swim. We still pull the lifeboat behind us, but it's easier now that I'm standing. Of course, I answer, because I know this water is warm enough for sharks and full of food for them. This water would be perfect for all kinds of scary things. You need to stop that, Rory says, swimming faster. She's not as tall as I am, and her feet don't touch the bottom yet. Just say there are no sharks here. Make me feel better, for Pete's sakes. I tell the truth, I answer, but I move a little faster too. Becoming shark food sounds like a terrible way to start this new day. The sand is under our feet now, and we can both stand. We practically run the boat onto the shore. The kids are cheering as they tumble out of the lifeboat. they have been in for 2 days. Boy, they were lucky it was only 2 days. I start trying to figure out right away what I can about the island, but the kids, even Rory, are just rolling around in the sand like everything will be okay now. I'm not supposed to tell them they are wrong. We need to find out if there is fresh water here, I remind them. It seems like they keep forgetting no one is here to help us. It's just us kids, and if we need something, it's up to us to get it. I need to rest, Rory whines, flopping on her back. We all do. No, I put my hands on my hips and look at all of them acting ridiculous. I feel like my teacher, Mrs. Richardson. She always makes sure our class does what we're supposed to, even when we feel like flopping around and doing nothing. I now realize she has a very hard job. And when you have to all of a sudden be in charge, you realize how hard it is for your parents and your teachers to be in charge. There is no time. The good news is there are plenty of coconut trees and palms. That means there is probably fresh water, maybe even people. I wonder what island this is, Rory says, staring at the sky. I wonder where we are. I hope my dad is all right, Tom says, not rolling in the sand anymore. His face looks sad and worried. His eyebrows kind of wrinkled together. He's worried. They are, Rory says, for sure. They probably just drifted a different way, or they already are picked up by a rescue boat and they are looking for us. Or they don't have any supplies and they are not okay, Willie says, pouting. Rory is angry when she answers, and it makes my stomach jump with worry. My dad is the best survival guide in the United States, she explains. He wrote the books and made all of you want some of us to go to Australia. Your dad is Mickey Lutz, Tom asks, with wide, excited eyes. Yes, Rory answers, now looking embarrassed. Her cheeks are peaked, and she looks away from all of us. I've read all his books, I say, thinking of the hours I spent in my room trying to imagine the adventures I could have someday. Tyler likes adventures and he likes being in the wilderness, but this is kind of a hard one. There's no parents to guide him or anything. His books were my favorite. Now that I'm on an adventure, it's funny because I just want to go home. Where do we go to the bathroom? Like number 2, Willie asks, looking around like a toilet might grow out of the sand if he looked long enough. We all laugh because no matter where you are, that is funny. Dig a hole, I told him. Point into the woods, find some soft leaves, and because there is no toilet paper here. Well, we're kind of all going without toilet paper right now with this virus, huh? I hope we don't have to use leaves. He can't just go in the woods, Rory corrects. And now she sounds like the leader. We don't know what's out there. She's right. This is a completely unknown place. I know what could be there, though, and it's not good. The list is endless. First, there are the small insects and spiders to worry about, from creepy crawlies to the long and slithering poisonous snakes that could be anywhere from the trees to the ground. I need to find a place for shelter and a bathroom for this group. We need to stay far away from the poisonous trees and brush, but we need cover from the sun. This seemed easier when it was something I was reading in a book. Willie gave me a second. I'm going to check out the area to the left of that large overhanging tree. They all stare at me as if maybe I won't come back. Maybe something out there will get me and they'll all be on their own. Okay, but make it quick, Tyler. Willie makes a face that he can't hold it much longer. Willie's got to go bad. When I get to the area, it looks fairly safe and private. I check out the ground for something to dig with, and there's a piece of bark that should do the trick. After inspecting it for spiders, I pick it up. It takes me a few minutes, but I dig a small hole. I'm sweating right through my t-shirt because the sun feels so hot. Almost ready for me, Tyler? Willie asks, squirming over to me. That is your bathroom, I explain, and Willie looks puzzled then it clicks. I don't really like it here, Willie complains. Me either, I say, walking away to explore some more. Having a quiet moment to myself, I think about everyone else who was on that ship with us. I hope they are okay. Is my mom worried? She always worries. I stare out at the horizon over the ocean. It's beautiful. This island is too. I almost forget for a minute to be scared. Almost. Okay, guys, that's enough for tonight. I'll read 2 more or 3 more chapters tomorrow, and you can watch it before bed. Nighty night, I love you.